Welcome back to the shop. I'm going to show you some of the features of the PTF Forklift. I've just finished this. It's got a new drive system and it's got my new forklift system. The forklift system has two different ways of carrying cargo, which I'll explain, and also the drive system is pretty different from most. So you just, enter the forklift. We're going to start it. You can either use a start command or you can use the HUD to do that. The lights also work by command, and the horn. But the lights will work from the HUD as well. That's the scene button. The beacon button does not connect to this particular forklift. So, when you're driving it, the thing to keep in mind is that it's a tractor type drive system. That means that whichever gear that you choose, it's going to immediately go to the new power setting. And then you have equal forward and reverse, depending on whether you touch the forward and reverse key. There is a brake, and the brake works by the first press of the opposite key is the brake, the second press reverses it. So, you can see what I'm doing here with my keystrokes. If I want to go forward, I just hold down forward. I want to brake, hold down the back key, reverse, back key again, brake, forward key again, and so on. So it's very symmetrical that way. So it kind of works like a real tractor. This vehicle will also go on the road. It'll go about 60, 65 kph, so it's pretty good. There are two different ways of carrying cargo. The first one is very simple. All it does is res. Well, it doesn't res. It just sort of makes a box show. This is actually linked to the vehicle. So if I press it again, it just disappears. And this, you can go across sim borders with it, no problem. You got a sim border right here, so it makes no difference at all. Unless you were going to just crash in the sim border anyway, it wouldn't make any difference at all. It just goes with the vehicle, since it's already linked to the vehicle. So that, for role play purposes, is pretty effective for doing, if you're going to do deliveries or stuff, you're just carrying things across the sim. But if you want to actually drop the box, then you need res rights, because it will drop a temp object. So I just click the drop button, or say drop, and then we have dropped it. This is now a temp object, which will last about 1 minute. It's just a temp physical object. And if you want, you can use your forklift as a battering ram, like that, which is pretty fun. Anyway, the other way to pick up cargo is much more complex, and that involves the use of a cargo following script. So we have another box here which is included. This is called military crate cargo, and you can see here there are numbers indicated in the description. 0.6, 3.2, 90. So it's 3 different floats. The first one represents the height offset that it will be above the fork platform. That's this. The second one after the comma, 3.2, that's the distance that it will maintain from the center of this vehicle here. So it's going to be 3.2 forward of this center. And then 90 represents the degrees offset of this object. So if your mesh is not facing east at 0, then you have to change this to something. And this mesh is not facing east at 0, so we had to change it to 90. And the way you pick something up, we're just going to lower our forklift. I should tell you how to do that, of course. So to operate the forklift, you hold down your mouse button and then use your up and down. Fly up and fly down keys. Put your E and C, or page up, page down. And then we're just going to drive so that we're right up against it. Taking a little bit off to the side here. I'm going to drive so we're right up against it. It is a prim, so right now it's not physical. You can't make it move. But as soon as I press magnet, then it sends all of the messages to the object, which now becomes physical, and it has the follow script. So now we can carry it. It won't go across a sim unless somebody's sitting on it, but you can use this just like any follow script to move stuff around. And this is not a temp object. It is not linked to the vehicle. If we want to drop it, all we do is turn off mag, which you can use commands as well. MG is the command. As you can see right here, the display panel will show whether mag is active. So we'll just move up a little bit and we'll get our object again. There we go. Yeah, I have a little bit of lag here, and sometimes lag will make things work just a little bit wonky with a follow script. So if you wanted to stack a couple of these, you can. You do have to be a little bit cautious about which one you're picking up, because the sensor for picking stuff up is pretty precise, but it's not quite precise enough to not have some occasional issues. So if we were to have two of these, and I wanted to stack them, we're just going to say mag. We pick that one up, and we're going to lift this up to about here. Go back up, and we're just going to stack them. Forklift, that's not very precise stacking. Hit mag again, and now we've stacked them. So if I were to lower the forklift down to here, in theory, I'm not sure if this is going to work, then hopefully it will pick up the lower one. And let's just see what happens here. Yeah, we picked up the lower one. So I'll just try to move us back a little bit. Well, yeah, I can't quite get it underneath now. Maybe. Okay, let's undo mag, pick it up. So we've successfully stuck the lower one underneath. This is a bunch of stuff that you'd never do in the real world, but there's a lot you can do with this. So let's pick up the upper one now. And so your mileage, of course, is going to vary. It all depends on the proximity to this area right here. This is there's an invisible plane right here. This is where the action actually happens. So you can do this with multiple objects, not just the one that we've included. And to show that, what I'm going to do is I'll just drop this one, and I'm going to delete them. So let's just put the prim box here, and we'll just set it whatever size we want. So I'm going to put one there, and you get your follow script, which is called Small Forklift Cargo Follower. And every time that you res an object, or every time that you add the cargo follower, it will tell you what the current adjustments are. So right now it's set for 0.6 above the platform and 3.3 meters forward and 0 rotation. That's the default. So that should just pick up. So this next little button we have here, it says Phys, and what that is a physics. It enables this to become physical. Right now it's completely phantom. And if I set physics, then you can see the physics shape becomes, it should be anyway. I don't think my physics shape is displaying properly. But what you can do is test it with your lift. Pick something up using mag, we'll lift it up a little bit so it's above the ground, and then we'll set physics. See, it does change everything, and then when I turn mag off, it should still kind of be there. They don't work as, it doesn't, this is why we have to have a mag script, because it's physical, yes, but it doesn't really retain objects. But it is necessary for a few other things. If you wanted to carry a person, you want to have physics enabled. So we can, this is my bot here, and if I just come up to my bot, I'll drive right up and place non-physical platform right under the bot. Then I enable physics, and I'm going to just do the lift a little bit. So now you can carry an avatar, and you can actually carry them pretty much anywhere you want, as long as you don't go too fast so they don't slip off. Because avatars will respect the friction of the vehicle. So one of the other things that you can do with this, there are so many things that you can do, is the vehicle has such friction that you can literally drive up a wall with it, even if it's like a 90-degree wall. See, the avatar fell off there, but it will just drive right over. It'll happily go straight up a wall because it has such great friction. We need to turn physics off to get underneath here. And then physics on, and we'll just lift a little. Okay. Yeah, we do have to be careful with doing this kind of stuff, and to bounce the avatar back off the vehicle. So what else can you do with this? Well, when physics are enabled, you can do something that you can normally never do with a car, which is, even if you have a very large object that's in your way, like this, I'll make it even bigger. And usually with a car, this would just completely stop you. So if I had physics off and I drive into it, it becomes an impenetrable wall that you just can't get through. But what you can do with the forklift is you lift your lifter up as high as it'll go, and we enable physics. And then as we come up here, we want to just see if we can try to climb over top of it. I think this might be a little too big. There we go. Okay, so physics enabled, and now you just have to kind of go down with the lift and forward with your throttle. Down with the lift, forward with your throttle, and then there we go. And you can climb right over the top of a wall that way. So, there are a lot of other little quirks about this object, but it's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for stopping by.